The Ant and the Grasshopper Story. Once upon a time, there lived an ant and a grasshopper in a grassy meadow by the river. It was during the hot summer season when the ant was toiling hard by collecting wheat grains from the farmer's field. The ant would work hard all day long from dawn to dusk, collecting the heavy grain well balanced on her back. She would then put the wheat grain in her larder carefully and rush back to the field to collect another grain. She would scurry back and forth between the field and her larder, often repeating this task the whole day. On the other hand, there was a grasshopper in the grassy meadow who would spend all his time in singing and dancing. He would often scorn at the ant for toiling so hard the entire day in collecting the grains. He would frequently call the ant to join him in singing, dancing, and making merry at the present time. However, the ant would ignore him and continue with her work. This would make the grasshopper laugh even louder, and he would often ridicule the ant, stating that they have enough food to sustain themselves in summer. Hearing this, the ant said that she was saving some food for the cold season and recommended the grasshopper to follow the same. The grasshopper didn't pay heed to her words and continued singing and dancing merrily. Soon summer faded to autumn and autumn to winter. It became freezing cold outside due to snowfall, and the sun was barely visible, and the nights were long and dark. Out of cold, the grasshopper lost his interest in singing and making merry. He was cold and hungry and had no place to take shelter from the snow outside. He wondered how to save himself from this tough situation. Suddenly he remembered about the ant and visited her for some food and shelter. Off he went to her place and knocked at her door for help. When she opened the door, the grasshopper offered to sing for her in return for some food and shelter. To this, the ant replied that she had toiled hard in summer to save enough food for winter, and the grasshopper had mocked her then. She gently asked him to sing somewhere else and earn his food and shelter. It is then the grasshopper realized that he should have saved up enough for the winter instead of wasting his time being lazy during summer in singing and dancing around. Moral of the story: make hay while the sun shines. The Ant and the Grasshopper full story teaches us that one must make the best use of the present situation instead of suffering later. The theme of this story is that we need to plan for the future, and for that we should start working today to reap the benefits tomorrow. In The Ant and the Grasshopper Story in English, the grasshopper keeps wasting his time without pondering over how he would sustain the winter. On the other hand, the ant works hard during summer to get shelter and store enough food for the winter. The grasshopper faces the harsh reality and learns the lesson in a hard way.